semi-final of the 6 Major Charlotte.
Unbelievable to think that at the end of today we could have 2 NA teams in the grand final at an NA Major, Tim. It's almost a perfect script. Liquid coming in with the Thatcher ban to start things off. We've seen a Thatcher ban dodged a few times throughout this competition as well, where teams have opted to leave it open. We had double hard breach ban on Clubhouse yesterday. Haven't seen that one in a while. Maverick going to follow through from the side of DarkZero to round out the attacker bans.
We'll move on to the defenders now. It's going to be DarkZero to pick up the first one. Everything pretty standard so far. I would expect to see that continue. We're going to have Wamai, who has been increasing in popularity for the bans recently, taking away the magnets that will suck in any of that throwable utility that goes near them. So we're going to see a lot of Jaeger play today. The final one, going to be Mirror. No surprises there.
Absolutely not. The Wamai, as you mentioned, back during the utility meta when shields, they were just everywhere. And the go-to was for teams like BDS to ban away the Wamai to make it easier to clear through them. And teams over time started adopting a similar banning strategy. And I think this competition, I think with teams acknowledging, okay, some teams are bringing along 8 frag grenades in a round. What's the way to respond to that? 1, ban Maverick. 2, ban Wamai, and let the nades that do remain keep on singing through. Armory and Throne, going to be the first site that we step into, and I know we've got Attacker repicked him, but I can't help but look at the Decabi, the Jackal, Nut coming in as well. That's a lot of Roma hunting power on side.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we saw both of these teams play on Theme Park yesterday. Both of them got the win there. Team Liquid against G2, of course, and DarkZero picking up the win against Team 1. 7-3 it was for DarkZero. So a solid performance. They kicked off on attack then as well, Des, and they managed to take it 4-2 in that half. So Liquid could be up against it on defense here.
It could well be. A couple of C4s in back pocket for the side of Liquid, just screams towards that denial that you might see later in the game. And Jesse made a great point on the desk, by the way. We did see Liquid play on this map yesterday. Of course, we saw both teams do it, but for Liquid especially, playing up against G2 on a G2 map pick as well, Liquid played it incredibly well. So there's no doubt some things to learn there for DarkZero to bring into this fixture. But knowing how Liquid played yesterday, they're going to be out on the roam. They're going to be trying to greet DarkZero on the entryway into the building. And one thing I'll really commend them for is the composure and the discipline to fall back at the right time, not stick out on the roam too long, and make sure they had 5 men back on site.
Ask and Palu particularly are a team that DarkZero need to deal with here. We saw Ask on the mute yesterday, as you say, meeting them at that line of the building where they were trying to get in, and G2 just couldn't really deal with it. We saw him teaming up with Palu a couple of times. What a start! Pampa gets the party rolling with an opening kill onto Reset's beautiful use of that reverse angle up the hatch.
Pampa party starting early, round 1, kill 1, game 1, everything you could ask for. Wonderful start for DarkZero, and as I said, Liquid relatively safe out on the roam. They've already lost 1 man inside the first 30 seconds. Not a dream start because you're still facing off against the Jackal, the Decabi, the Nook, as well as we've already seen striking big. Those are a couple of operators there that can do a lot of damage if you're not too careful out on the roam.
NJ are well aware that there could be a bit of a tension coming out of this window. Palu playing just on the inside of it, but instead he's going to move himself through to catch. Palu's not a player that you're going to catch out too easily. Out goes the Nitro. This could be a kill. No! NJR just managing to dip himself away from that and avoid any damage. The battle continues between those two, but still, even despite that opening kill, DarkZero just struggling to get themselves established inside of the map yet.
Had 2 smokes go down as well inside of control up on the top floor there. I just saw on that overhead cam that we do have for this game. And I was just like, okay, well, what's the play here? Because for the most part, DarkZero found themselves held back inside a cache. Sure, they got the opening kill, but Liquid are still looking to greet them and slow things down. And that's what they should be doing on a map like this. NJR taken down, the sledge removed, and with no breaching charges on side, it's going to be hard to get those vertical angles opened up. Tim, you'll have to rely on the Jackal ITA instead.
Canadian going to keep trying to push up these yellow stairs, just using the flashbangs to try and clear something ahead of him. Let's not forget that the site is on the bottom floor here. DarkZero still needs to be working towards that Ask. I picked him up at the beginning of the round, and he's doing the job again. He's got the SMG, he's hit the headshot. That's going to take another man down for DarkZero and leave us now in a 4 versus 3. Canadian has the opportunity, he sees the man, but he cannot find the kill. 50 seconds left to go. DarkZero really struggling to get any control over this top floor.
They are struggling, Tim. They're absolutely getting rolled apart by the side of Liquid. They found themselves 3 out on the roam. Pampa at least has given something back to the side of DarkZero with 2 kills of his own. He was pushing in through lab and storage. Eclipse, pulling out that grenade. We've seen many of those go the wrong way at points here, Tim. Another flash coming out, going to go around with the pistol, I'm sure. No, C4 comes out, good dodge away, and Eclipse is there for the assist. at 2 versus 2 with 20 seconds left on the clock.
DZ need to get moving now. The progress in towards site has been non-existent. There's no breaches. They're going to have to go through doors. They've got 15 seconds left to go. Liquid there, just hold up there, bunkered down at the back of the throne there. It's PSK and Parlu. We saw them holding this down. PSK, he gets the first. It's all up to Eclipse. He's no option but to push through. And PSK just holds the angle, finds the kill. And once again, PSK is there mopping up and claiming rounds for Team Liquid.
Yesterday we described PSK as a stone wall against G2. No matter how many men they threw at him, he'd just walk away with 2Ks, 3Ks on the defense and completely shut attacks down. In fact, I think he started the first round of Theme Park with a 3K. This one's only a 2, but still a good start for PSK and worrying signs for DZ.
Certainly is. It's only the first round, it's early days, but in these playoffs, this is definitely the biggest test that DarkZero have faced so far. They had a good game against Team 1 yesterday where they were able to really get something going in those second 2 maps, but they need to bring that same sort of energy here. The crowd is certainly bringing plenty of energy for them, and that is to a degree going to transfer to the players. They'll pick up on that. Despite the noise cancelling and everything they've got, they can still hear that going on.
You can sure feel it, Tim. You feel the rumble through your feet as well. We feel it on the casting desk. No doubt they feel it on the stage as well. Round 2 we go into. Up we go into Bunk and Daycare. And a small change coming in here that's quite interesting from Canadian. It's moving across to the IQ, Tim. There's no Valkyrie on side. There's nothing really that you'd normally justify bringing an IQ with. I think we saw it pulled out yesterday by Liquid when they faced off against the Yokais of Echo and a Valkyrie in the same round. Otherwise, they just simply didn't bother. So here, maybe it's trying to get rid of some of that utility from below, but some of it has already been placed on concrete flooring.
That's it, just gives you that option. You don't necessarily have to go in horizontally. DarkZero need to get moving quicker this round. That much is for sure. It just took them far too long. Pushing into site with 15 seconds left to go is never going to be a good idea, especially against somebody like Team Liquid. So we're going to have the drone in continuing here into the action phase for DarkZero. Just raining them out, trying to find anything they can. 9 drones left, so doing well with their drone economy there, using them to maximum effect. Ness, we saw him playing in this position on Cafe Door yesterday. He didn't have a huge impact from there. He was cleared out a couple of times by G2 quite easily, so maybe, you know, DarkZero will have seen that. They'll be planned for this.
Yeah, once again, there's a big focus for them up towards the northwest side of the building, you know, pushing their way into lab and storage, moving their way across from there. You might see 1 or 2 come, like, just jump in through Dragon side and try and sweep away across the map quite quickly. They did have a roamer out there on Liquid side as well, but I think they've slowly started to move back. You can see Ask on your screen there towards the bottom side. So for now, they're saying, okay, the focus isn't on this side of the map. Let's get some barricades down and then step our way back across towards the west.
Still no progress directly in towards the site yet for DarkZero, but starting to take that bottom floor, starting to take underneath.
Oh,
there you go, Ness, finding a fantastic kill on the reverse angle, opened up. You got to remember, those work both ways. Ness, he's just going to step himself back a little bit out of that engagement. He's got PSK on the cover as well, and he's going to just try and entice DarkZero into Cafe now. And there you go, he finds the kill with a headshot onto Pamba. Sometimes Ness just cannot be beaten.
And we'll go back to the line that Lycan once said, Tim, until you've been rolled over by Ness on LAN. You haven't been at a real LAN. And he started off firing on all cylinders, at least in this round. 2 for himself so far. Eclipse, the man we highlighted earlier, he's good, but is he a full 1v5 ace good? And sadly not. Parlu with the closing kill.
Team Liquid off to a dream start at the minute, locking down the first 2 rounds. They're now going to have to go to the 3rd choice site. It's going to be initiation and office, I would imagine. And the thing is, it's pretty much the same defense as Bunk and Daycare. They're going to do very similar. They're just going to shift it across the map a little bit. Going to try and prevent DarkZero getting directly into cash, and then they'll play 1 or 2 roamers, I would imagine, out on the Cafe side, just to prevent it from there as well. Just try and lock down that top floor. They're not too worried about the bottom floor.
What makes me nervous is they've not looked troubled in those first 2 rounds, Liquid. Again, PSK, plus 1 other, holding behind Throne. 2 kills as they come running in, easy peasy. That round there, Ness, easy 2K at the start. Admittedly, a lot of it being based on just the raw gun skill. The flick that he had across into Cafe was what netted him what should have been a kill for Pamba on the side of DarkZero, but just couldn't quite connect.
almost underway then. We've got, this time we're not going to have the IQ brought along, but would potentially have more of an impact because we've got the Kaid who's going to be using the electricals on those walls this time. But Canadian just deciding to switch things up a little bit. He's going to be on the Zofia. No other picks particularly stand out on the attacking side. I mean, NJR, we saw the work that they attempted with the book last time. It's probably going to be very much the same. Get in, get underneath, try and open the floor underneath their feet and make it difficult for them. There is plenty of destructibility inside of Office, at least there is an opportunity there.
It is. The only problem with this site, and I look back to a really old game that we had in EUL sometime last year between, what was at the time, Doki, I believe, on the side of Na'Vi. They were playing up against Tempera, as they were then known. We've gone through many iterations since then, but they just completely held them at bay on the east side of the map because there's a number of single doorways to work through. Sure, there is the double doorway corridor you can push through into the waiting area. The problem with that being, you're so exposed running down there. It's a tunnel of death, Tim. You've got a soft wall on one side, it's a long way forwards. You can't duck behind cover on your way down, so you're forced to go through control or up through cash, and neither way is just particularly comfortable to go through. Again, it's quite tight, it's just easy to get C4 coming in, and you're being held back by the mute jammers. It's just an absolute headache.
Quite a direct approach from DarkZero here. They've got Canadian on the rappel, just looking directly in towards Bunk and Daycare, trying to make it difficult for those roamers that I said would be out on that side of the map, and trying to just soften things up from underneath. Hyper unable to really connect anything meaningful with the nade. PSK has taken a tickle of damage in the early exchanges. Palu as well now, and DarkZero certainly softening Liquid up better than they did previously. Ooh. Nitro onto the windowsill is going to catch Canadian though. Perfect throw from Palu.
This time round it connects. Yep, slightly short in the previous round. Ness finding a second. DZ just yet to get anything moving until Hyper starts balancing it up. Palu, what was that? NJR and Hyper in the same spray down. Again, Eclipse is left in a 1vx, and he's not going to find Ness. Tim, it just feels like Palu and Ness could...
That's why you stood up here and not sat over there.
Exactly.
Tactical timeout will be completed for DarkZero. They're going to get back into things. It is time now for them to start finding some rounds. They need to get themselves on the board, Des. They've just suffered a complete defensive sweep. Liquid, now they're going to rinse and repeat. They're going to move back through those sites. It's down to Armory. I'd like to see DarkZero this time at least get some access into site. Let's get those breaches off. Let's make it uncomfortable for Team Liquid.
All right, Pamba moving over to the Amaru here. Curious to see if that one sticks. We've seen Amaru a number of times this week, and we haven't really seen it to be used for the fantasy that everyone has when they think of Amaru plays, right? Just springing in through a window into sight, planting or killing everyone and winning the game off the back of that. Instead, used to get inside the building quite quick in the early round and hopefully catch a defender trying to rotate back towards sight. So keep an eye on who might be isolated on the side of Liquid, and that's where you could see Pamba come flying in.
Surprise, surprise, Nesk is up on his cafe door again. This is the problem when you're playing against Nesk sometimes. He will have a position, that is it, and that is going to be him for the entire game. And if he's hitting his shots, which we've seen him get a multitude of kills so far on this door, he's been directly challenged and he's still come away on top of those battles. That can be really dangerous. You get to a point where it's almost like, let's just not play into that anymore, because you know he's going to be there and you know he's going to be winning those fights.
We've been talking quite a bit about ask and resets this week as well, and how good they're doing, adding to Paolo and Ness deadliness. But just to raise it, Paolo and Ness, 5 kills apiece, only one death between them. Double the kills that so far the other side have got. Speaking of ask and resets, they get themselves involved in a couple of firefights. Pamba starts off well, but it's 2 kills back to Liquid and looking to be in full control once again.
That's it. Something else that Liquid are doing very well here is trading out Ness, managing to find Pamba from that position once again. Eclipse manages to find the kill onto Palu. Keeps this manageable for DarkZero. It's 3v2. Eclipse is low health, which is not going to help, but so is Ask. So not the end of the world. They really need this next kill though, do DarkZero. Canadian getting a little bit more aggressive towards site. That was something I said. They need to get themselves disrupting what is going on inside of that site, because otherwise Liquid, they're just going to sit there forevermore.
They can see the feet. They know that someone's out there as well, just waiting for them to step right across, but nope. Long backed away there. Ness not going to be able to find a freebie, unfortunately. This is one of the better situations DZ have been in there, right, Tim? They are putting some focus on the site itself. They've only got the 1-man deficit working against them. It was a 2v2 back in round 1 that PSK won out for them. So if you think Ness and Paolo are a problem, wait until you see PSK on site.
Canadian's going to grab the cams there, just try and get a little bit of information. That's going to give access to anything that Team Liquid have.
Outcams.
Exactly that, if they are still in play, which it looks like they are. Resets and Palu are looking at least one there, so there is going to be maybe something to be gained for DarkZero here from just nicking the cams there, but just feels like they've stalled out a little bit here. They're a little bit concerned about pushing into site. They know that they're going into a man deficit situation, but Eclipse has an opportunity to open up a breach, and this could be big for DarkZero here, because what it's going to do is move Team Liquid around.
Might be a bit of a ticket there. I don't know if that was intended by Liquid to still have one side not be electrified. They've got the hatch inside a split, as well as that wall electrified, but not quite the full thing. So with it now opened up, DarkZero have got access into site. But you've got Ask on one side. I said about PSK being this stone wall, Tim. He finds one. Eclipse getting it back. It's a 1v2 on a slither of HP. Ask comes in with the shotgun. Liquid find another round.
4-0 at this point. DarkZero struggling to get themselves onto the board, and Team Liquid looking every inch the favourites that they came in to this tournament as. And I think a lot of the NA teams, all three of them in fact, are going to be looking at this and thinking maybe this is the wrong time for us if Liquid start hitting form.
That's it. And hopefully if it goes between the maps, let's not forget as well, this was DarkZero's map pick, right? Going into Chalet, there are no slouches on that map. We've seen them play it before. So I think when you're looking at how things break down, do you expect DC to be able to battle their way back in? I don't know. What we have seen throughout most of yesterday is teams winning each other's maps, though. So hopefully that continues, because, Tim, we felt cheated out of a third map yesterday. It looked like G2 at like 6-3, we're going to do it, and then, no, let's give it all away.
It looked every inch like we'd get a third, and we do have a bit of a habit of it, Des. We're looking for one of those nice, tight affairs, and so far Liquid look like they have got other things in mind. 2 more defensive rounds for them here on Theme Park, and it's going to be back up to the top floor bunk and daycare, which they won back in round 2. Again, DarkZero struggled to get inside of the map, struggled to get any real footing inside of the round, so that's what I want to see them do here. I want to see them come in, clear out the couple of roamers that they're going to be faced with, and don't lose any men for it. I don't really recall DarkZero being in a position of having man advantage so far. I want to see them get the entry, get another kill on the back of it, be in a 5v3. Let's see what they can do from there.
Canadians 4K in that 2 versus 5 feels like a distant memory at this point as well. 0-4 in the game so far. NJR, exactly the same story. Not quite firing on all cylinders just yet. Hopefully we start to see it wake up in the next round or two. Like many of their stars, DarkZero have put some focus on lab and storage, Hyper sitting him in below. Imagine his focus here is going to be the same as before. Try and get some bullets through into the ceiling and try and burn Ness away, who's sat above once again, playing sat behind those ADSs just outside a cafe with a shield in tow.
The problem is that the floor beneath Ness is solid there, so there's not really too much he can do other than...
What he did last time was shoot inside the cafe.
He tried to get the hole and to try and get it up there, but it just didn't work because Ness was ready for it and just took the peak and won the fight. So it's just very, very difficult to move him from here. And G2, they managed it yesterday. Coming in from the cafe door, they were able to burn the ADSs, clear out the shield, and that pushed Nesk away a couple of times, but DarkZero, no success from underneath so far.
I remember them just rolling the Flores in, and Canadians run Flores a few times before. I'm somewhat surprised to see that we're not trying that out here when you know this cafe hold is giving you headaches. You saw G2 break it open yesterday with a well-placed Flores too. Sure, Liquid dealt with it pretty well at points. Pampa goes down and hits the deck, but resets is there to give the assist to Ask once again. DarkZero just struggling to make anything happen in the early round. PSK getting involved once a little bit earlier in the round rather than lazy towards the back end of it. 2 kills once again for Liquid.
And it's just so smart is this play where PSK has got the angle to support Nesk on that door. So where the push does come from cafe door, we see the Vulcan shield go down. The Talon shield, sorry, goes down, and that's going to make it even more difficult because you've got those smokes coming out from PSK now that's just preventing that pushing from cafe door. So you've got 2 problems to deal with as well as the line of sight of PSK. Reset, he's just going absolutely wild on that side of the map at the minute. He gets himself a 3rd in the round, taking down Hyper, and once again DarkZero are facing a 1v5. This time it's flawless as Carlu closes it out. And the Latam team are absolutely storming their way through Theme Park.
Does someone want to go and check if DC have got out of bed yet, Tim? These fights are just going against him. Even when Resets is drawing a line over someone and taking a second or so to get the kill, they're still not landing the shots back on the other side. DarkZero is looking a little bit static, a little bit tired, dare I say. We saw how well they could play yesterday and throughout the groups, but we haven't seen that in map 1 at all.
That's it, you know, you've got to remember in the groups, they won 5 out of 6. They needed a lot of overtime along the way. 3 of those results came in overtime. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you get in the wins, especially at this point. You'll take an overtime win on every single map you play because if you do that, you'll win. Simple as that. You'll be the one lifting that beautiful trophy at the end of the weekend.
It is a gorgeous trophy.
It's very nice, isn't it?
It's different, which is what I like about it as well.
As a support man, seeing the thermite, that's the trophy I want to win.
If it disappears overnight, the likes lights go down again.
Nothing to do with me.
We know exactly why.
Nothing to do with me.
Time will tell on that front, Tim. Once again, the Ossa coming along. I'm not too sure about the gridlock coming along from NJR here as well. You know, being flanked hasn't really been DZ's problem. Their problem has been dealing with roamers or Ness held position outside a cafe. That's where they struggled. It's not been someone coming around the back of them and killing 2 or 3 of them in a spray down. So an operator I'm looking at and thinking, is there something else you could have brought here? And another question for me, you've got 6 smokes on side. What about a glass? We've seen teams use glass a little bit yesterday for this sort of thing. If you're really struggling, just open up a wall, start looking for some picks with the glass or anything along those lines, but 6 just feel excessive.
I'd have maybe even considered something like a Montagna. You're struggling to get into cafe, bring the shield and just walk in behind it. Just do anything you can to disrupt Liquid. That's what's not going on at the minute. Liquid are setting themselves, like you say, there's no flanks, there's nothing hitting them unexpectedly. Liquid are setting out their stall at the beginning of the round. This is how we're going to play. DarkZero play into it. They've tried a number of different ways to get in there, but Liquid are just never being moved.
Imagine a 6-0 half, Tim. We know things
I don't want to, Des. We won't be invited back again.
Just a curse for NA, apparently, we might turn out to be. For sure, let's hope DarkZero gets something. They need it really going into that second half. You don't want to see match point on your screen every single time is the issue when you're going into the entirety of your rounds in the second half of the game. Ask once again, asking questions of the players out on this cash side balcony. Liquid doing the same as they did against G2 yesterday. Again, looking to greet them on the entryway in, stopping them out, and here comes the jump in. 2 players now pushing at top of Dragon.
Absolutely essential that DarkZero win this round for me. If they don't, it is map over at that point practically, but there is still a minute and a half for them to do it. As you say, the Warden going to be perfect for Palu to play into this smoke. Glasses activated, deactivated. He's just managing the availability of that gadget as and when these smokes come in. I have the Talon shield placed down. Hyper's going to be playing from behind it with the nade, and DarkZero this time, instead of playing into that roam, they're playing more directly towards site, and I like that.
That's what Liquid did against G2 yesterday, and it worked so well. 4 men in Dragon side, sweep across and got the plant down inside of initiation. Looks like DarkZero going something similar, but again, I'm nervous about the fact they're relying on smoke so much when there is a Warden of Palu stood so close and ready to rotate between either angle or either lane, essentially, towards the attackers to deal with that. This smoke right in the back, almost catching onto Hyper on the nut, but he's worked his way forwards here. Sat inside of control, but no nades on side. He's just looking for a crucial first pick to get this round moving.
They really need that kill onto Palu to play into their utility, but it's not going to happen as Palu manages to find the headshot onto Hyper. Second kill of the round as it's 5 versus 3 for Team Liquid now, and once again, almost every battle going in their favour. Eclipse managing to find something for DarkZero. Headshot onto PSK. Can he get himself a second? Absolutely not. Palu is just on one of those left. That's 3 before he is shut down, and that's going to be 3v1 now for Liquid. Pamba gets himself into sight. A lot of work to do. He's got no choice. He needs to start trying to throw this diffuser down. He uses his bait, but all it will do is bring Neskin closer for that final kill. Team Liquid 6-0.
I have not seen domination like this throughout the entire tournament, Tim. Even against some of the teams that many looked at and gone, not playing very well here, looking towards Direwolves, Chiefs, you know, they at least gave up a fight in some games, but DarkZero just bringing nothing to the party. Canadian, Hyper and NJR, 1 kill between the 3 of them across 6 rounds, Tim. I think it's pretty obvious why things aren't going their way. They're just not winning these critical gunfights.
Pamba, the sort of glimmer of hope for DarkZero at the minute, getting himself 2 entry kills at least, giving themselves something to hold on to, something to build from, work from. As you say, Eclipse, he's had his moments, but they've just been meaningless in the grand scheme of things because Liquid have always found a way to get themselves over the line. 6-0 now, and Team Liquid move on to the attack. DarkZero, they're going to be taking Armory and Throne. At this point, Des, they can't think about round number 8, they can't think about round 9 or beyond. It just needs to be round 7, 1 at a time. We just need to win this defense.
Absolutely, and going back to something I've referenced a few times that Canadian said is, you know, I asked him once, you know, why aren't you super excited anymore? Normally you're screaming and really going for it with your players, but he said, look, the problem is sometimes the guys get a little overexcited and then mistakes creep in. It's about keeping them at that constant rest level in the middle. Not too low, not too high, straight down the middle. And a lot of that comes into the play of, right, new round, boys, reset, forget the score. We've got a job to do here.
I don't know if at this point, Des, it maybe needs that burst of energy. It maybe just needs that rocket to say, right,
just go off mid-round, just start
you know,
screaming.
this is it. We just need that success. You know, whatever it is, whether it's the entry kill, whether it's getting, you know, something just taking out an important player. There's the hard breach gone. They just need something to latch on to really start feeding this team in with a bit of belief, a bit of energy, and to just make Liquid think twice.
Make them sweat a little bit, Tim, because so far they haven't had to break a single one. Just looking down the kills on their side so far, you sat at 10 kills across the whole team in 6 rounds. It has been a really good half for Liquid. We can't take that away from them. Here they're starting out a bit of a split push as well themselves. So you've got some coming in on the cash side, some moving over towards, some on cash side, sorry, some over towards Cafe on the other side. So in terms of the split, it's different to what we saw yesterday, where they had 4 players all come in Dragon side and go for those trades off of each other. Maybe it's a confidence thing that's changed that ever so slightly so far today, but they're still looking for that elusive first pick.
We know that the attack is tough on Theme Park, and it is time for DarkZero to take advantage of that. Pamba playing on the Warden, perfect as he can just avoid those flashes. Parlu, however, manages to find an opener onto Hyper, not looking good for DarkZero. Pamba's trying to contest this window. He knows somebody's playing there. He's going to find the kill onto PSK. Canadian gets one onto resets, and that just might be what DarkZero need to start chaining these together. But Parlu just goes bigger no matter what you do. 13-2.
No one covering on the south side there. He just walks in through control, up into initiation, and shoots them in the back. That is disastrous for DarkZero. It's a 3 versus 2 once again. That numbers advantage staying elusive. And Eclipse and NJR, they're playing for the map right now, Tim.
This is exactly it. They are keeping DarkZero in Theme Park, but like an abandoned theme park, Des, it feels like they've not got much to go on because it is going to be tough against Parlu and Ness, who are both still alive. Ask a little bit quiet today, but we know he's got the ability as well. But how do you play against a Parlu and Ness that are 20 kills for 4 deaths? The answer is it's always going to be very, very difficult to find an answer.
It's ludicrous. And we've said throughout the competition we haven't seen those 2 players really shining as bright as they may have done historically, but what a game to turn things on. Of course, if they make it through this semi-final, they've got to keep that going into tomorrow, but for now, they're still going to get over DarkZero. 25 seconds on the clock. Those smokes coming out from NGR will do a little bit of tickle damage onto Team Liquid to try and push their way through. So this could be the saving grace for them, Tim.
It is. We've seen this held down in 2 versus 3. We saw PSK do it in a 1v3 yesterday. NJR continues, just putting that toxic babe canister on, and then the kills come in. Eclipse NJR closing things down for DarkZero in what looked like an unlikely round. This could be the start of it, Des, but there's a long way to go. 1-6 as DarkZero get around on the board.
That smoke play is exactly what you're looking for as well. Layered on top of each other. Sure, you can drop and run through 1 smoke, but you can't run through 2, Tim. It looks so lost after Parley found that massive 3K as well. Just unmarked, and someone's going to be asking questions on the side of DZ there as how the hell did he get past us? But if that's the one mistake you make and you learn from it, round 2 can only get better.
I know a couple of thousand people that are hoping that round 2 is going to get better, Des, because it's been tough watching so far for the NA fans, but DarkZero managing to get themselves the first round, and the crowd here just showing they only need any opportunity to be screaming, and they will be doing it. So DarkZero head into their second defense now. It's going to be up on the top floor. It's Bunk and Daycare this time around. You feel like they just need a better round edge. Yes, they won that one, but still, it was a 2v3. It was waiting for Liquid to play into their hands inside a site. You just want DarkZero now to have that big round, to come in, couple of early kills, get on top. They need to be closing Parlu and Ness down. They cannot allow this to continue.
Just close Parlu and Ness down.
That's it. That's what they need to do.
I never realised it was so easy. I tell you what, the stairs are right there. Do you want to walk up there and tell them? Oh, and backstage, by the way, there's a clown wig. Go and put that on at the same time. Let's see how this round plays out, though. We are 15 seconds in. So let's see where the attack begins for the side of Liquid. Again, they've enjoyed that kind of split push in the previous round, coming in from a couple of sides, looking to assault DarkZero and keep them guessing as to what's going to come in. So I think, again, if you've got that confidence on side, play into it once more.
Absolutely. Like I say, it's largely coming down to the opening or early round gunfights particularly, and the amount of times Team Liquid are able to give themselves that advantage. Parlu up to the rooftop then. He's going to be opening up the hatches just to give a little bit of an opportunity for utility to go in there, drones to go in there, and potentially an access point likely to be over on the control side, which is the hatch that he's coming to now. Going to draw on that, and the push going to be coming over from that cache side.
Got everything tried off in towards initiation as well, which we are very used to seeing. Similar thing inside a break room, just to make sure they're a little bit secure playing in the site itself. Hyper playing where we saw members of Liquid doing the same earlier. I want to say it was Ass that was playing on this side of the setup previously. just trying to keep them at bay inside of Cash, do the same thing that Liquid was doing to them. Try and run the clock down, keep them guessing, find an entry or two, and really keep things moving.
Hyper just trying to take out a drone there. It's actually going to stay alive because he knows he can't lose his focus too much and turn away from that side because the push could come in towards him. Aska's got the yellow ping there, knows roughly where the angle is onto Canadian. We're going to have shots exchanged, but no damage done. Canadian just keeping himself safe inside of sight for the time being, and Liquid quite patient on the approach here.
Last time I remember Ask pushing from this position, Tim, he was on a Maverick and he got a 3K. He's essentially solo won the round for his team against G2 yesterday. Here he is on a Twitch, a bigger gun arguably, and able to do just as much damage as we get in towards that last 60 seconds of the round.
That's it, Liquid stalling out a little bit here. They've got themselves in that Cash side, but then not too much movement forward, but that could be the catalyst as Ask manages to find an opener onto Canadian, and we see the respect in the Twitch chat, sorry, not the Twitch chat, in the old chat there. There's probably no respect in there at the minute, but the old chat there, Canadian just giving the nice shot, and MJR looking to hold on. Pamba's down, not looking good for DarkZero as the Liquid push continues.
Yeah, just holding together here, DarkZero in a bit of a box formation there. You've got the four of them just all set around, trying to hold down these different angles of aggression. Two coming in from Cafe on the side of Liquid. They've got no idea. Hyper sat inside of Cafe. Diffuser down, Tim, and that could be the big difference maker.
It really could be. He just needs to hold on to this position, keep himself safe, but he's being pinched. Can he get more kills? No! Palu, Ness, one apiece. Pamba just to find us 3v2. We've seen them able to do this before. 13 seconds left to go. The clock is on the side of DarkZero right now, but the kills are on the side of Team Liquid. It's all up to NGR. He gets the first. Can he get
Palu!
Palu goes in, and that man once again closes out the round for Team Liquid, who take the first map in spectacular style.
It didn't end up as a 7-0 for DarkZero, but Liquid, wow! What a statement on map one. Coming in on DZ's map